Well, we did the stupid thing where we talked for like an hour beforehand, and now we have nothing to say, and the cold's open.
We don't. There is something I could say, so we can just get it out of the way.
What happened?
Well, it's related to this movie, Bridge.
Oh, God, what is it?
I know I often make certain references. If you're a longtime listener, you can kind of name some shows and movies I often re-reference, but Bridge is a big one that's related to this movie.
Degrassi!
Whatever it takes!
Oh, no!
We'll get it out of the way now. Listeners, season 3, I forget what episode, they did a Breakfast Club episode on Degrassi, where some of the characters were in Saturday detention, and they were all representing the different types of people, and it was iconic. And the girl who was the popular, like, representing the Molly Ringwald character, her name is Hazel on the show, she was in detention because she was looking at porn in school. Hazel, girl! And she goes, what? I got an email with a link. I got curious.
I mean, I am all about being confident in that department. Question for you, because now you just made me, with that reference, think of something else.
Dawson's Creek? Because that's your Degrassi.
Thank God. Glamorous on Netflix. You're still not watching Netflix?
I kind of started a little bit again.
Okay, it's where Samantha from Sex and the City is starring.
I love her. I didn't know she's in something. Oh my God.
And it's like all about how she runs a makeup company, and then there's the star of it reminds me of the Instagram / social media influencer Brett Rockman. Do you know who that is? He's hilarious.
No.
Anyways, at one episode, they do a scene from Clue where the guy's like, we have to figure out who it is. And he's like, and he runs into one room and he's like, hey, we have to figure out this. And then everyone's like, why are you running?
And he ran across the whole library.
And now I'm just realizing, like, oh my God, you made me think of all these, like, other hilarious references that now that we've watched movies for, like, 3 years straight, I know all these references. So if I watched Degrassi, I'd be like, this is the Breakfast Club.
And that's exactly why we want to do scary movie parody-esque movies, because they're basically just referencing all other movies.
No new scripts, no new stories, just getting you excited about the good parts of old ones. It's basically editing. Okay? You're great at that, Kate.
You know what? Wow. And I just want to also say that if you're wondering how, the relationships made in this movie end, they all date each other. So, I don't know if that's what happens to these characters. It's Degrassi.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the pairings are a little different, though. They're a little more realistic. It's like the weird girl character pairs up with, like, the bad boy, which I'm like, that makes more sense. And then the popular girl pairs up with the jock, and I was like, right. Yeah. And then the nerd's alone, LOL, because he's a nerd.
Brian!
They still don't get stuff, yeah. So it's out of the way. I won't bring it up again, maybe, but we'll see.
Listeners, you heard it. No, maybe. Edit that out. Listeners, you heard it here first. All right, see you then.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Don't you
forget
about me. Don't you. Hello.
Sorry. I went back to Pitch Perfect. So sorry. Hey, listeners. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for coming back. What's up?
What's happening?
Who got detention?
Yo. This is a rough detention. Oof, I gotta say. But we're not in detention, so I'm gonna introduce ourselves. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And show Dick some respect. That's my favorite line of
Does Barry Manilow know you rated his wardrobe?
I mean, Bender really is the best character. Do we agree? Or
wow, I think he carried it on his back.
I might be a little colored because I think he's just one of, like, if I was the school psychologist in the building, I'd be like, well, Bender's in my office again.
Hi, Bender.
Hey,
what's the movie?
Bridge, the movie this week is The Breakfast Club.
1985.
Yeah.
Was this a listener picked? Or did we just make this up?
No, because I picked it, which usually means it's not.
Wow.
Sorry, I love you guys.
I think I'm up, right?
Yes, you are. You are. And just to re-reference, if you guys listened to the last episode, Bridget got real excited for this pick, and you said this is one of your, like, favorite movies, which I never realized.
It was one of my favorite movies, and now that I have Jaws as number one secured, this is still top 5. This is top 5. Even after watching it now. It's incredible.
People don't forget the very first movie we ever did was Almost Famous, and I was like, it's your favorite movie, and then you were like, well...
I loved it. It was my favorite movie. And then I watched it and I was like, not my favorite movie anymore. It's a great movie, but yikes.
Yeah.
Doesn't age well.
Yeah.
Kate, I'm going to hit this up. You ready, folks?
I'm ready.
The athlete, the brain, the bully, the princess, the longer breakthrough.
What? The basket case?
Nope. I didn't read that right.
Did you?
The
write...
athlete, the...
Okay.
The athlete, the brain, the bully, the princess, and I think the basket case.
Okay.
Break through the social barriers of high school during a Saturday in detention.
Debatable, but sure. Sure they do.
This is not a hard plot. Just gonna tell you right now, pretty jazzed to do this plot. This plot is, we have characters that go to one place and one scene and don't leave because they're in detention on a Saturday.
Yeah.
The movie starts, they show up, they're all from wildly different social groups, and it's super duper high school. We don't actually get into grades. We don't get into, like, freshman, senior, you know. I got the sense they were all similar grades.
Yeah.
Like, or like upper, like,
I
maybe
think
a year or two
so.
below.
Mm-hmm.
And they are there for all different reasons, but it's super boring, and they just have to sit there and do nothing and say nothing and whatever. And oh boy, what happens is they talk a lot, and the entire movie is them just basically making fun of the other social group or defending themselves or kind of seeing how they fit in a group or how they don't want to fit. And very high school. They're all very white suburbs.
Very white Chicago.
Very white, which I read an amazing take on. This is why they could go into the depths of socioeconomic class, because they are, like, essentially all on the same playing field.
That's interesting.
Where if you had somebody there who was a person of color,
yeah,
you would have to acknowledge that part of the race is part of the privilege they didn't have.
Yeah.
Anyway, very, very interesting. But this dialogue is incredible. John Hughes nailed it. Even 1985's dialogue keeps up today. I mean, there's some certain phrases like bitchin'. It's a little dicey in certain scenes I can't wait to talk to you about.
Wow.
But it's basically them essentially after being there long enough, they start to just define who they are and share more of their intricate details. They get close. They have these moments, but they kind of know it's fleeting, because when they go back into their world on Monday, they'll just continue in their social groups, and it made it incredibly honest. In any John Hughes movies, the adults are dumb, and boy, oh boy, are they dumb in this movie.
So
but the janitor isn't. The janitor is smart.
He's smart. He gets some money also, which I'm like, clever girl.
And the day ends when detention ends. So this whole movie was basically only within a day.
Yeah.
We don't have flashbacks. It's all dialogue. It's raw. It's perfect. It holds up. I loved it.
Yeah, it is kind of like a play in that
It's a
sense.
play. It's beautiful.
I'm surprised it hasn't. I wonder if it has been, like,
maybe it is a play. We just haven't known about it.
Because it could very easily be one. That was a great bridge.
Wow, thank you.
Well, let's dive in. We start off with,
Wait. I just realized. Sorry.
Okay, I'm diving out of the pool.
I need you to dive out of the pool.
Yeah, I'm out of the pool with the towel.
I forgot to mention, this was like the Brat Pack. This was like one
of
the original iconic Brat Pack that had Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, because 16 Candles came out basically a year before this, Judd Nelson, and I think I named them all. There's other, like, Brat Pack, people would say...
were the Coreys in there? Or were they too young for Brat Pack? No, what's his name? John Cusack was one.
Cusack, you got it. And Rob Lowe. Demi Moore. Believe it or not, Demi Moore. And that's the crew.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, very famous 80s actors we got here. So we start off with what I wrote as an emo David Bowie quote about being emo. And then the screen explodes.
Oh my god, I wrote emo Star Wars credits.
Wow!
Are you proud of me? I referenced Star Wars because now I know?
Yes, good job.
And these children that you spit on as they try to change their worlds are immune to your consultations. They're quite aware of what they're going through.
Okay.
I mean, it lands. It still lands. Like, we're talking, Kate, like, we're getting close to 50 years later.
Yeah.
And one of the things John Hughes does so well is he's not like, it's the 80s, man. He just gets to the heart of, this is just what will happen anywhere. This is what happens anywhere. All the adults are idiots, right? The kids know more. And so, this whole movie was about them showing off their intelligence, but in the way that teenagers talk, which is cool. Like, it lands.
Yeah, and even, like, the stereotypes, I mean, that is still...
They're still there.
It's still there. I think they, like, kind of morphed a little bit in their own individual ways, but definitely still things. So, we get that, and then we kind of get some overlay that, like, then you find out later, it's the essay that Brian ends up writing by himself.
Anthony Michael Hall.
He's Anthony Michael Hall. He's the nerd. He ends up writing an essay for everyone. Everyone was supposed to write their own. He's the only one that writes it. And it's like, what do you care who we are? You didn't even know us. Yeah, blah, blah. And then we get character intros.
I cannot wait to buy a Molly Ringwald jacket for fall. How iconic was that old school leather jacket. Red. I was like, this is awesome.
That's always in style. All right. So I'm ready for that for you.
I just wrote Molly Ringwald is mad her dad can't get her out of detention.
Yeah. And he's driving a BMW and it was like right in our face. And I was like, we get it. She's
oh my
rich.
God.
I wrote that Brian's mom needs a chill pill ASAP. And maybe his sister as well. Because I'm scared.
That's his real mom and sister.
Oh no! It's giving me sister to the traveling pants with Blake Lively and her dad. Is that your guys' relationship? Like twice.
Question for you. Did you have the same... I'm so embarrassed to admit this because I've watched this movie so many times. But the janitor is not Brian's dad, right?
No!
But they make a joke that the janitor is like, oh, what's the janitor, your dad or something?
I thought the joke was that Brian's dad was a janitor.
Okay. Because literally the whole movie, I thought the janitor was Brian's dad, and then some other dude picked him up at the end, and I was like, well, then that's not right. And then I thought, I've watched this movie so many times. How have I not connected the dots? So bizarre.
Oh, no.
Because I thought, this is weird that Brian is who he is, because his dad seems so philosophical.
His dad's a cool janitor. What's the problem? Yeah, so mom's like, you better study. And he's like, we're not allowed. She's like, figure out a way. And I was like, oh, no. These are some of the parents I deal with. And then we see Emilio Estevez's dad. What's Emilio's character name? I should know that.
Andrew.
Okay, Andrew. So Andrew, and he's like a wrestler, so he's like jock, whatever. So
he's wearing the varsity jacket.
His fucking dad drops him off, and he's like, oh my God. Hey, bud, whatever. I got in trouble. Anyway, deuces. And I was like, what an enabler.
Wait, okay. I was kind of confused by that intro because I felt like the dad was like, hey, I screw around, we screw around. And then he flipped to, you want to lose your ride? You want to blow your scholarship? You want to ruin your future? I was like, you, sir, are all over the place.
Yeah, well, what is it? Can we get in trouble or are we scholarship? Which one
are we just boys being boys? Ooh. Yeah, so that was a lot. And I just wrote so angsty. And then I said, and I don't know if you felt this way, but I was like, this kind of feels very Wes Anderson.
Is it because it's all white people?
Absolutely. But also, if you took out the music, and you watch Judd Nelson walk up with Wes Anderson music in the background, it lands.
That could work, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, Wes, we're on to you because you stole from John Hughes. We know it.
Wow. Well, and these are good character intros because when Judd Nelson, who is Bender, John Bender, but everyone calls him Bender, he's like the bully, like, you know, reject, whatever, tough guy. He's the only one that doesn't get dropped off. He walks up by himself, just like out of the fucking football field. And then Ally Sheedy, who's the weird girl, she gets dropped off, but like nobody says any words to her, and then the car like speeds away. And you're like, wow.
She goes to like talk to them, and they speed away.
They're like, we gotta go. Jesus
Ouch.
Christ. Yeah, so that's everyone. And I wrote a note that says, Jesus, bullying already? It's 7 a.m., people. Relax. Because Bender is like already picking on Brian, the nerd. He makes Brian move. And
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Saturday. That is like for 8 hours. I'm sorry, but no detention.
Listeners.
No detention is 8 hours.
No.
I thought this is the only difference that kids today would be like, whoa, 1985. 8 hours?
It's a lot. And they're like, you know, I think in some school districts, probably more than I think, there is a Saturday detention. It's
really?
not as long. You're allowed to do work, and I'm pretty sure it's for like super high class offenses, not for skipping one class like Molly Ringwald does. Like, what? I don't. Because when you find out what some of the things are that these people did, you're like, wait, these are like really different. Like, some of these are not the same. What the fuck is happening?
Definitely felt like some Britney Spears crossroads.
Oh, there were so fucking many Britney Spears crossroads. Somebody could edit her in the background and no one would blink an eye. It would all make sense.
She's like, I skipped school to learn who my mom was. And they're like, you're here!
And then my friend was pushed down the stairs and she lost the baby. But, like, it's okay because she's gonna sing. But, like, she's not I Am. And Dan Aykroyd's my dad. Yeah. Oh, boy. So then we meet the principal, who is Dick. But what's his real name? It's not just Dick.
He just calls him Richard Dick. Hold on. Vernon. It's funny because they didn't really address him by name a lot. And
yeah,
I just kind of, like, he was just kind of a jerk. So,
he was.
The critique I read from a lot of places was, okay, we get it, John Hughes. You hate adults. This guy was like kind of one-dimensional. Like, he was so mean, so ridiculous, and he doesn't know how to open a door. He he has toilet paper stuck to him when he goes out of the bathroom. I was like,
spills his coffee.
Spills his coffee. He's like finding confidential files. I'm like, what? It feels a little like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But boy, we meet him, and he's they can't do anything. I was like, what? They can't talk. They can't sleep. They can't move. What, sir?
So you, not to bring up past trauma, Bridge, not to pull a Britney Spears bridge, but you, I believe, have reference that you, at least once, might have served a detention.
Definitely gone to detention, but I've never gone to Saturday detention.
But were you allowed to, do homework and shit? Or you would just sit there?
Oh my god, we all fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could do anything. You could go to work, you could do work, you could do anything, but, we just fell asleep.
Okay. I mean, that's what I would probably do.
Mainly because it was in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. We were tired.
It seems fucking dumb. Although, he then also, this is where he's like, you have to write an essay explaining who you are. First of all, why? Second of all, what grade am I getting? Third of all, who's counting my word count because it's on paper? So, I call bullshit on that. And, third of all, what? Even?
He literally says no less than 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Katie.
What?
Can I tell you? 1,000 words is 10 pages. Okay, double spaced.
This is a thesis paper.
That's a movie script. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, what's going on?
I'm glad they all said no.
Oh my god.
You know?
Yeah.
But I had one adult moment that I never thought of when I was a teenager watching this, which is, Vernon sucks, but damn, it sucks to come on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That must suck to come in as, the teacher,
But he's the principal, isn't he?
Oh, or the principal, but,
right.
I don't know, I just thought, that sucks.
Yeah, it sure does. And, pretty quickly, he leaves them alone. They're all sitting in this library. He's like in his office, but he kept the door open, and pretty quickly Bender starts being Bender.
Oh my god.
Wowie, wow, wow.
So here's the thing I thought about. I was like, this is kind of a hard movie to review.
I know, I didn't write down like all the lines.
I did. I tried as fast as I could, but like it was hard. I mean, Sheedy starts biting her nails, and then they're all looking at her weird, and she spits her nail clippings at him.
Hate it.
Everybody was like definitely afraid of Bender. He was like in everyone's face, and I wrote high school is such a weird power trip, because I don't know about you, but people are fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then he just starts singing, and then he starts saying, what are we supposed to do if we have to take a piss? And then he tries to go to the bathroom, and that's where Emilio Estevez is like, I'll knock you to the floor if you pee here.
Oh my god.
And then the dialogue just like, I mean, honestly, Kate, I could keep going, because then he just gets into, let's get the prom queen impregnated.
I was going to say, I go, let's not joke about rape, please. It's also still 7 a.m. I hate everyone. And he says, the hot beef injection.
Oh, God,
which
I have that too.
Immediately, I was like, okay, I'm going to add that to the list of weird phrases for sex, including a pickle tickle from League of Their Own. So,
a little pickle tickle.
The list is getting a little longer, all right?
Okay, so I thought about how we can do this, and I think what might be good is the dynamics of each character.
Yeah.
And talk about, like, what worked, what didn't, and then we'll just, like, shift through the big themes. Because the dialogue, like, basically the pattern is Bender gets bored.
Yeah.
He starts shit with people.
Yeah.
And then Emilio Estevez is like, hey, man, leave him alone. And then Bender's like, oh, do you love that person? Do you this? And then it goes to the other person. And it's like this, like, Broadway play rotation. So do you want to go, like, do you want to go by person?
I was
going
to say we could do that, or even, like, maybe just conversational themes, because I have one of the big themes that they talk about first is this idea of, like, in high school there's clubs, and Bender's kind of like, oh, but you guys aren't in the same clubs as, like, Brian. And Brian's like, I'm in the math club, and they're all like,
oh my god.
And he's like, why aren't you guys in the math club? And they're like, ugh, that's an academic club. And he's like, that's right, but to Brian, it's like really
but to dweebs
awesome.
Like this, you know?
Yeah.
I thought of our sister Mary. Mary, hi, sweetheart.
Oh, Mary, you were
I
in the
know
math
you ran
club.
The physics club.
Oh,
no, she ran the physics club, and
girl.
actually, I think in college too. And I laughed so hard when they were like, "Well, what do you do in the physics club?" And he's like, "Well, mainly we do physics."
Yeah.
And talk about physics. And he goes, "Oh, but then we had this event where we all went to," and he was like, "You party, you get loaded." You go there, and he was like, no, we just show up and we just talk about physics.
He's like, we dress nice, and we just are there. I was like, oh, Brian, you're so pure.
Oh my god, but he's a lot. I will say, like, Bender is a scene stealer because just when you're annoyed by him, you think he's taken it too far, and I actually thought he did in a couple scenes.
Yes.
He then is either quiet, or he makes a really poignant argument to something that you think, well, he's just a really smart bored kid.
Yeah.
You know? He's essentially, like, woke.
His whole thing is he's a pot stirrer, but as we know, some pots need stirring, am I right?
Wow, spoken like a true Aquarius.
That on
my
a shirt
sister.
and sell it.
Have you met my brother Jimmy? This is my house. I'm so tired of growing up in it.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we are.
All right, so, and then they kind of go back at Bender like, well, you're a loser. You're not in any clubs. And he's like, I don't want to be associated with you. And it's a lot of that where he's like, I don't like you guys. And they're like, we don't like you either. We hate you, Booster.
Wait, he goes, maybe I'll join the wrestling team and I'll put on those tights. And then Brian goes, you wear tights? It's
so good. I love it. Oh my God. So pretty quickly though, Bender's like, hey, we're having good convos and I'm going to have some more. So I'm going to go fuck with the door so that it stays permanently shut. I
love it.
So we can keep convoing. And all he does is take out a screw, and who knew that's all you needed to mess up a door?
God.
Not me, but now we know.
Wait, no. I want to take a pause at this, because this was a really fascinating social unspoken rule across generations is you're the kids, right?
Yeah.
They're like, they hate him. They're like, he sucks. He's ripped on all of us. We don't like him. He's a little dangerous. But we are not going to rat him out.
Yeah, because it's benefiting them, too. So they're like, hell yeah, Okay, fine.
But also they know code. They're like,
yeah,
we don't like you, but you're our age, so we like you more than an adult because we know the adult sucks.
I also felt like it was like also a benefit to them though, where it was like, this is giving me something, which is why I care.
I get it, but don't you think there was like another, like they could have just ratted him out and then he would have been like,
yeah, but then the door would have been open, and then they couldn't.
I guess, but like, I mean, honestly, he was alive. Like in the beginning, I would want to get rid of him, you know?
Well, and that same idea comes up later with it comes up a couple times. It comes up when Bender's hiding under the table, which we'll definitely need to talk about, and then it also comes up with the weed, where when they like steal the weed and stuff, and like all that, like they all kind of cover. Mainly, they're covering for him.
Yeah.
Nobody really needs to cover for anyone else because nobody's messing it up. But yeah,
it's fascinating though, right? Like I was like, even if I hated some kid, would anyone really be a snitch? You know, like think about it.
Snitches do get stitches, Bridge. So
even white people,
even the white people snitches. Yes,
I love how Bender was like, how come Andrew gets to get up? If he gets up, we all get up.
It's anarchy.
And then I thought, is he going to call Andrew a fascist? Because
oh my god, Andrew does not control the railways or the flow of commerce, guys.
If you know that joke.
That's so good.
But then he makes fun of, this is what makes him so funny with Vernon. He's like, isn't that a fire hazard, sir? And then Vernon's like, move this, what are you doing? So, and then he says, Vernon goes, I expected more from a varsity letterman like you. I'm like, oh my god,
I was like,
you're the
leave
worst.
Emilio alone! Okay.
Oh my god. But then it gets intense because Vernon and Bender this is where I thought, okay, this is a little much where they're like screaming back and forth and he gets like 8 detentions in one conversation and then he screams, fuck you.
Yeah.
To the principal. Kate, what happens if somebody screams fuck you?
I mean, there is like a hierarchy of a code of conduct, Bridge, but I kind of feel like in Bender's case, like, I feel like he would have been like, suspended or expelled.
Suspended, right?
Or like something, you know? I mean, it's a lot. And I did find it interesting, which again, as a kid watching this, never in my life thought of this, but now as an adult, especially someone who works in schools, I kept thinking, I was like, because like usually when you see a kid like Bender, I think most people assume like this kid hates school, like they wouldn't care if they're expelled, but he doesn't want to get expelled. He doesn't. Like, he wants to still be a part of the school, even though he keeps being like, fuck everyone, and like, screw you. So that was interesting too, and I liked that, because I do think that's more likely what kids like that are thinking and feeling, because school is like a stable place of routine, and usually their home lives are like big crazy explosions.
Well, and there's, if your parents suck.
Right. Like, you don't want to be at home. Yeah.
Well, and there's got to be at least one good teacher. There's got to be like, or person, there's got to be one nice person there. Yeah. That's better than home,
right?
You know?
Right. So, and I love how Molly Ringwald is like, cut it out! She's like, I'm over this! And it's like, damn, girl, are you into me? And she's like, I don't know yet. Let's read it in 5 pages and find out. But then so then I have here, there's conversations. They start bringing up this theme of how the kids all, for different reasons, basically hate their parents. Which is kind of another John Hughes,
that's like,
you know.
But that's that's real with teenagers.
I was going to say, the teen years, for sure.
Well, and actually, you could educate me more on this, but I read all these things about being a parent, and I know my little toddler is nowhere near this age, but I read about how teenagers, by design, hate and fight their parents because it's a way, biologically, for us to part each other, so there's no incest.
Like more well, I mean, I don't think anyone's like thinking of it like that.
But like old school.
Yeah, they're trying to just
ancestry.
Like gain independence. Like, it's like, I'm getting older and I can make my own decisions. And also teens, like, their brains are still developing. Your brain still develops until you're about 22, 23. And teens are more likely than any other age group to be high risk taking, which is why education's important, like sex education and on drugs, so we don't
Here we are.
all that.
Make your PSA.
And now we're back to public education funding.
Katie's hair flipping.
And let me get out my PowerPoint on why you should vote for public schools. Okay. Anyway, so they all talk about that, and Molly Ringwald is the one who's kind of like, yeah, I hate my parents because, like, they just, like, are annoying and they use me to, like, get back at each other. Like, my life's hard. And then Bender's like, your life's not hard. You're like, whoa! And then he right away gets into, it's a Hocus Pocus reference. You guys ready for it? We're gonna shame the virgins. Are you ready? Shaming virgins time. It's here.
Did you light the black flame candle?
Molly Ringwald could have. She could have done that.
Oh my god, our scary movie combo will be epic with the Molly Ringwald. Molly Ringwald or God. Brian. Can you imagine if he like trips and lights it and we're like, oh god, he's a virgin too.
Brian, no, not again. Not the wishes again. That'll be Hocus Pocus 5, yeah. Yeah, but she doesn't answer. She's like, I'm not answering, blah, blah, blah. And then this is where Emilio beats up Bender, which I was like, yeah, Emilio, all right, put him in a headlock. He needs a headlock.
Well, and I thought that felt real, because I feel like from a, like, masculine relationship, it's so physical. Like, I remember that in high school.
Yeah.
And so it was real. Like, they were pissing each other off, you know? I liked it. And I also liked that Bender was like, I have to outsmart you, jock. So I'll take out my knife to show you I'm scarier, and I'll show you that, like, I could actually kill you. And he says it. He goes, but I don't want to kill you, because then your parents are going to sue me, and then I'm going to be in jail, and that's going to suck. So you know what? I'm going to stick this knife in this thing, and then he Spider-Man's up to, like, the top of the library.
I saw it. It was a Spider-Man move if I've ever seen it. Yeah, it was a lot. Also, the janitor comes in, like, immediately, and is like, hey, kids, I'm the janitor. Here I am.
Oh, my God.
And this is where he's like, hey, Brian, I'm your dad's friend, maybe.
Oh my god, Kate, this is where my notes are so stupid.
It's just where you're like, there's Brian's dad.
Yeah. Brian, your dad works here? And then I go, why is he working on a Saturday? And also, why didn't you just drop off your kid if you were going to come to work? Why did his mom have to drop her off? That's so stupid. That makes no sense. What is he talking about? And I'm just so embarrassed by... I know this movie like the back of my hand, and I still didn't get that.
Oh, God, no.
But thank God we finally get to lunch, Kate. We got 3 hours past in, 40 minutes. I was like, wow, here we are.
Yeah, and that's where they have that, like, random scene of, like, everyone doing different things to pass the time. Like, Sheedy is, like, wrapping a string around her fucking finger and just watching, like, the blood pool up at the tip. And then Brian gets a boner because he's watching Molly Ringwald, and Molly Ringwald's just, like, fucking sitting there. And then they all whistle, like, the fucking Seven Dwarfs theme or some shit. I don't even know what they're whistling.
They were. I hated it.
And literally Vernon was probably like, okay, there's too much happening. Like, time to interrupt this shit.
Well, and Sheedy, this is so interesting. She does not speak for like 40 minutes. Oh,
yeah. She, like, squeaks. She's like a mouse. Squeak.
Well, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa. And then she, like, you know, Bender's like, I did all my acting.
Yeah,
Come on, help me, people.
Somebody else do it. Well, and she did, the first time she speaks is to Emilio when they're going to get, like, soda or some shit, or milk. I don't even know what they're getting. And he goes, what's your poison? You know, what do you drink? And I was like, that's not a great icebreaker question, Emilio. You're going to have to work on that. Figure it out. And then she goes,
like, my dad told me to say this, because back in the day.
Vodka! And I was like, oh my God. She'd be another friend of mine, probably. Great.
I love her so much.
Oh my God. Yeah.
What I loved about this is they broke the people apart, and you started to get, like, a little more one-on-ones, right? Not the group, and that was nice. And then you started to see the intricacies of, like, okay, it's one thing about you being a brain, you being a criminal, you being a jock. Now you get to see how they eat lunch. And they were all
and what they
fascinated. And what they were all fascinated. Like, first of all, Molly Ringwald having sushi.
Girl, you did not refrigerate that, and I saw it, and I'm worried about your stomach, okay?
I would take, like, a mozzarella basil sandwich on a ciabatta and believe that as your rich, than sushi. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I also love that Bender, she said to him, she's like, can I eat? After he made fun of her, and he was like, I don't know. I don't know if you can. I'm like, I just wrote, he's got the best comebacks.
He
like,
really is like a sass queen, I gotta
tell you, Kate, I don't know if this is correct as a therapy technique, but if any kid needs to stand up to a bully, you should just play John Bender and how he, like, retorts back, because he's got great lines.
He really does. The sass is
Wow.
there. The sass is real.
But then, like, Emilio Estevez has, like, 4 sandwiches.
Oh,
and
my God.
out of control. Ali Sheedy's having pixie sticks on Captain Crunch in a sandwich with a Coca-Cola. And then Brian has chicken soup in a thermos and, like, an apple. And I just...
And Bender had no lunch, which made me sad. And I only noticed this time. And I was like, no. Oh, no.
It made me sad, too. And I was like, wait a second. You're a pothead and you're not going to eat, sir.
He doesn't have lunch.
That doesn't compute. You need to have some, like, munchies.
He's neglected.
Wow. Then it gets dark. Then it gets super dark.
Because this is where Bender goes on his one-man performance show, as I wrote.
Wow.
Performing our trauma, if you will, because he basically is like, here's my impression of Brian's family. And he, like, makes fun of him and is like, everything's great and wonderful.
Hi, son! Hi, Dad!
Yeah, Dad! It's like, oh my God. Did you practice this at home, Bender? Come on, this is really good.
It was incredible, honestly.
But then they're like, yeah, well, what about your home? And then he reenacts trauma, which is getting physically abused, which is horrible.
Oh my God, Kate, I just had another thing to add to our scary movie.
Not trauma. Okay.
Like, in the fake Breakfast Club, there's actually a theater geek that's, like, off to the side, and they get up and they're like, John, you have to be the star in our play, after he, like, does this whole monologue. And then he stars in, like, Wicked for high school.
Oh, God.
I love it, or something.
That's amazing. I love that. And
Sorry. Yeah, and he shows, like, the cigar burn, and you're like, oh, man. Oh, wait, is this when he Spider-Man's up? I'm sorry. I did a premature Spider-Man.
Okay.
This is when he Spider-Man's up. Because he goes, I don't think I need to sit with you fucking dildos. Anymore. And he throws things, and Spider-Man's up. That's when he Spider-Man's.
Yeah, because he's sad. And then Molly Ringwald goes to Emilio like, gosh, you shouldn't have said that. And I was like, well, you didn't say shit, Molly, so stop playing the blame game and being a bystander. Y'all are bystanders.
And as we learned from Katie, need to be a upstander.
You need to stand. This is how I do it to the kids. You need to stand up.
Don't stand by.
Don't stand by, stand up. Yes.
We accept all those who are by.
Yes,
Love you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so somewhere in here, John Vernon, or Richard Vernon, Dick, if you will, Dick spills his coffee, and this is when he leaves his office and I guess goes maybe to the teacher's lounge or something. Bender takes this opportunity because he's an opportunistic person and says, you know what, this is the perfect time for me to go to my locker and get some weed. For whatever reason, everybody is with him. We don't, like, see that setup. They just all appear in the hallway. And then Brian is like, what are we doing, guys? I was like, Brian, you decided to get up.
Brian, just stay seated.
You could have just stayed there, Brian. What's happening? And it turns into the fun little, chase scene in the hallway, running away from Dick so they don't get caught, and that's fun.
Oh my God. And then when he gets the weed, this is funny with Anthony Michael Hall, where he's like, drugs. Marijuana. Do you approve of this? And I was like, I love him so much. Because everybody else is like, whatever, And then they're like, come on, we gotta get back. And
and for someone who's so against drugs, he tokes, like, pretty straight shot. I was like, you're not even coughing, dude. I don't know. I feel like you've done this before.
Wait to get there and analyze how weed actually affects people. But I felt like there was like, okay, we got to get out of this classroom. We have to like manufacture like a little bit of like drama.
Yeah.
And so them running throughout the halls, I thought was like a way to like change things up since we were kind of bored.
And this was also another moment where you're kind of seeing that, again, even though there's definitely like disagreements and arguments, like they are thinking as a group and they're all kind of like in a way trying to work together or like caring, because Bender is like, all right, guys, there's no way we're all making it back without getting caught. I'm taking one for the team.
I know.
And I love that. I was so happy they did something like that because I was like, he needs more, like, redeeming things, because there's been not good, like,
it's not good, and he's a lot.
Yeah.
He's a lot, and he took shots deeply at all of them.
Yes.
So, I loved it too, and then I also thought, Katie, what would you do if you were a teacher and some student is just, like, playing basketball, and then, like, chucks a basketball at you? I was like, this shit is, like, intense.
Honestly,
you know?
I feel like that's happened to me before, and...
What? Someone threw a basketball at you?
Probably. Who knows? But I'm a good catch, Bridge. Don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I was like, damn, he's, like, tough, you know?
Yeah, and then, so this is where he gets, like, separated, and he's kind of, where is he? He's, like, put in a fucking closet? Is that legal?
He gets put in a closet, but this is when
I hate this. I
with
hate
Vernon.
this.
Vernon, like, threatens to beat the shit out of him when he becomes an adult.
And then he's like, hit me. Go on. Do it. I want you to. And I'm like, ew, this is like an abuse tactic. I don't like it.
Well,
Ooh.
and he did it in front of everybody. He goes, you want to know something? Go visit John. In front of everybody. In 5 years.
I hate
And you'll
that.
see how goddamn funny he is. You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. Because he's, like, such a loser. I was like, damn.
I hate
that.
that.
Shit is, like, you're the adult. You know? Like,
Yeah.
yikes. And then he goes off on this tangent, Kate. I know you caught this because we all did. He goes, Bender, I'm respected here. I make $31,000 a year.
And he's got a home. What a time
I have a home.
life.
Math people?
Yeah,
1985, $31,000. He has a year in the fancy suburbs of Chicago.
I need math
which, by
on
the way,
that.
are going for like $700K. Well, okay, don't even start with me, boomers.
I need math.
Okay?
Thank you.
Get out of here.
What the fuck?
But he basically says he's going to kick the living shit out of him. And you could tell Bender was, like, afraid and shocked. And it made me kind of sad. I was like, but I remembered as a kid, this was the moment that I also felt was bad.
Yeah.
Now, we're getting to the part that I did not pay attention to as a kid.
Face in the crotch.
The face in the crotch.
Unsolicited face in the crotch. Yeah.
Here's what this movie missed. And we are the women to tackle it. All of the women in this movie never addressed patriarchy.
Yeah.
And the fact that Molly Ringwald gets sexually
assaulted
while being just verbally abused up until this point, right? And then she, like, runs after him afterward. I thought, no. The only line Sheedy says is, when they're asking Molly if she's a virgin, they said, it's a trap. If you say you have, you're a slut. And if you say you haven't, you're a prude. That's the only... Now, that's one line out of, like, an hour-and-a-half movie.
Yeah.
And I thought, the women today, if John Bender goes into my crotch in high school, and I try to squeeze his head so it pops off his body, as you should, I am not following him and then kissing him at the end of the day. That shit is done. Which, by the way, Kate, women did that. That was a thing because we were brainwashed into thinking our whole lives had to center around men.
Yeah.
This movie never addresses it because it was written by a man.
Yeah.
There was more men in the movie. And then most of the women that were in the movie were, like, centered about who their love interests were.
Yeah, and there is a shitty makeover scene, which, like...
I know!
Oh, God, it was very Barbie. It was just not good.
Not good.
Yeah,
But, like, you felt kind of grossed out, right? That he just stuck his head in her crotch.
Oh my God, I was so upset. And I fucking hated... Now, I don't know how old Molly Ringwald was when this was filmed. I'm hoping over 18. Not that it makes it better, but, like, they showed, like... And maybe it wasn't her, maybe it was someone else, but, like, they showed, like, vagina covered in underwear. Like, what? We didn't need to see that. Like, we understood what he was looking at.
Oh no. Oh, Kate, oh no.
Oh no.
She was 16.
Oh!
And do you want to know how old Judd Nelson was in The Breakfast Club?
35. I don't know.
26.
Ew! Oh my God, that's like a Grease age. Jesus.
Ew, I hope that was not her crotch.
I don't know, but, like,
we didn't need to see
that,
it.
You know, that wasn't great. And then, yeah, the follow-up, and by the way, we didn't say this, but, like, he gets separated, but then he basically immediately crawls in a duct, crawls through, like, fucking Die Hard, okay? Some John McClane shit. And then he falls back in the library, and then he hides under the desk, and that's how he gets up in her crotch. Okay, fine. When that's over, I didn't understand why Emilio didn't, like, jump to her defense, because he was all fucking defensive when, like, words were being said, but I was like, yo, this was, like, assault, brother.
I know.
Yeah, and then we just move on, and he's like, sue me. And I was like, she could, actually. So
literally.
watch out.
We have it on film.
Yeah. Hate it.
But they all decide to get high. And honestly, if there's one thing about high school... Okay. Now, actually, I don't know about today's generation with alcohol, because I think alcohol's on the way out, but in terms of cool factor, but, like, we could all get high.
Weed's legal, y'all, in most states.
That's happened in the 80s. That's happened. I hope it's still happening. I hope kids can get around a joint and just get high, because you know what? What else are you doing in high school?
And so this is another moment where Bender's like, give me my weed from your pants, Brian. Go team. I'm gonna go smoke. And I'm pretty sure the first person that follows is fucking Molly Ringwald, which I'm like,
worst.
Why did she have to be the first? Then I think Emilio is the one that follows, right? Or is it Brian next?
No, it's Brian is next.
Oh, and then
Emilio. And then Allie Sheedy is like...
She doesn't like... I don't even know if she smokes. She just kind of like wanders over.
Well, she was disappointed in Emilio Estevez because she was like, don't go. Like, stay with me. And he was like, no, I'm a follower.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing too. There's a lot of like... It's not like peer pressure because no one's like, come on, come do it. But like, there's unspoken peer pressure.
Let's talk about Katie.
Oh.
We don't need to go into details.
Bridge.
Let's just assume you've either had weed or watched someone have weed. I absolutely have smoked weed. But no one in my life, I, being a former athlete, have also watched people smoke weed. No one in my life decides to do a jazzerfilm dance when they are high as fuck. When somebody's high, they fall onto the couch. And nobody gets hyper. Have you ever seen someone, look like he looks like he snorted a line of cocaine, not hit a joint? They didn't get this right.
I literally wrote, this routine is iconic. It should have been a number on Dance Moms. I'm upset it wasn't. A+, amazing. Abby Lee Miller would have loved his turns. Okay? I'm just saying, the form was there.
What's her line where she's like, Madison, you were third, not great enough. And second, you were like that Dance Mom quote.
Second is
like,
the first
number
to
one.
Lose. Yeah.
Do it again. But yeah, he screams like Mariah Carey and breaks the glass. What?
Did anyone care about the glass shattering? Because it's never mentioned again, and nobody has questioned.
How does Vernon not smell pot? And or hear the glass break, and or see the children are nowhere in sight. It's hilarious.
I also love how immediately Brian has glasses on, and it's like, that's how you know Brian's high. And I was like, is that how we know? Okay,
I loved it so much. He's like, yeah, I'm cool. And he like falls over. Now, they all get along at this part. And I kind of thought, John Bender, I think you need weed.
Yeah, he does. He needs some chill the energy.
It was good for him. And so now in this like back half of the movie, he calms down and everyone else steps up, and it's a really nice balance. Because I think if he did the whole movie that way, you'd be like, oh, I'm over you.
So this is the part where Allie, Sheedy's character, she comes up. It's Brian and Emilio, and they're just like, I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about something, and she's like holding her bag like in front of her, like you're on the subway, you don't want to touch anything. And she goes, you want to see what's in my bag? And they both go, no. And I was like, that's real. And then she just dumps it out.
I love it.
And then they're like, I guess now we'll look. And I don't know. She's like just a bunch of shit in there. And they kind of have this conversation of like, why do you carry so much shit? And she's like, never mind. And then Emilio's like, no, I'm going to question. Emilio was a little bit like a Ken here, where he's like, no, wait, let me save you. By the way, horses are our master.
She's like, have you ever thought about taking off those glasses? You'd be beautiful.
Literally this part.
I also have to just quickly mention that now I know why the principal didn't come in, because he was downstairs in the basement reading files on students' mental health issues.
Was it students or was it staff? I thought it was... Well, I guess they wouldn't have
it was staff?
They wouldn't have files on staff unless that was a thing in the 80s.
I thought it was student, and then the janitor comes in and he's like, hey, Carl, how do we just maybe not remember this? And he's like, you got $50?
Give me money. I was like, hell yeah, Carl, that's right. Be a hustler, son. Oh my God.
When Allie Sheedy, to your point, drops her bag, Emilio Estevez is like, she's like, drop it, I don't want to tell you. He's like, well, I didn't dump my purse and introduce my problems to everybody like you. do? And
Wait.
She was like, well, I was like, this is the play. This is the Broadway play.
I'm sorry, but I'm just envisioning this exact conversation with Emilio Estevez and fucking, what's his name in Mighty Ducks? Charlie? With like him being like, Charlie, I didn't dunk your mom in my lap, and gosh, Charlie, why are you such a sad little boy? Get over it. I don't know why. I just feel like it would fit. I feel like it would fit in, okay?
He's like, it was just ice cream with the assistant coach. It's just my ice cream receipt.
Leave me alone,
I'm
Charlie.
not cheating on us from Greenland.
Stop with the judging. Oh my god.
Oh my god. But then she goes like, listen, my home life is unsatisfactory.
The trauma. Oh my god.
The trauma. And then she's like, I could run away and go to the oceans and the mountains or to Africa.
She said she's gonna go to Afghanistan. And I was
I
like,
thought,
well.
Okay. And the funniest part about this is what we forgot to mention is she actually stole Brian's wallet.
Oh, that was
and found
it.
out
Yes.
that he had a fake ID because he wanted to vote.
Oh my god, Brian. And then Amelia goes, you made yourself 65. And he was like, I know. And I was like, damn, what the fuck?
But at the same time, you start to kind of like see that they're doing the Britney Spears crossroad. It's like, it's what you do at a sleepover, right? You start just like sharing stories and you go deeper and you go deeper.
Everyone shares their trauma. Let's go around in a circle. Let's do it.
Oh my god. And ironically, you go back and forth to the janitor and Vernon goes off on this speech about, I've been teaching for 22 years. These kids are getting worse. They're the ones that are, when I'm old, they're going to be running the country. Like, it's just not good. These kids are getting worse. And Carl is like, it's just you.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just you. You're the worst and you've gotten worse. And I want to ask you, as an actual person in the education system, do you believe that's true or do you think the kids change?
Well, okay, so that's a little hard to answer with COVID because that was a big,
that's true.
That was a big historical
big
disruption.
True.
I think for the most part, a lot of themes with kids stay the same developmentally, and then of course related to like how you're brought up and raised and socioeconomic and race and like all those things are important, and those usually kind of have similar effects. But I think the way that they're like presented changes a little bit. So like, you know, my version of emo is not the same as it is now. I really think this generation's version of emo is like I described in our Barbie movie with the daughter of America Ferrera, where it's like she's not wearing heavy eyeliner and listening to sad songs on her iPod. She's like aware, but she's like outputting and angsty in a different way. So like I just think it like looks different, but it's like kind of the same.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, he schools them, so yeah.
Yeah, and I like that because, you know, Carl's great and he's not a ding dong.
Listen, Ali Sheedy pulls a fast one on Molly Ringwald here. She basically is like, I'm a nymphomaniac. I'll have sex with anyone. I don't need money. I've been having sex with my therapist who's a married man. And Molly, are you a virgin? And she's like, what?
Damn, call her out. Shit. Yeah, we go back to this, and Molly goes, I thought we were going to talk about this. And I was like, I thought we did too, but I guess we're back to it now because Hocus Pocus rules.
Well, and then she screams she's a virgin.
Yeah.
And then Ali Sheedy's like, sorry, I'm a compulsive liar. I've never had sex either. And then Molly Ringwald's mad. And then everyone's like, it's kind of funny. You're just mad she made you do it. But like, Molly Ringwald's character was interesting. I felt bad for her in certain moments when people were like, she was vulnerable and people were really mean. But then she really was like mean and conceited in other moments. And so this is why you kind of did hate. And she's like, you're so weird. You didn't say anything all day. And then everything that comes out of your mouth is lies.
She's not wrong, honestly.
I'm like, I mean,
Ali Sheedy's character could fit into Girl Interrupted pretty easily. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, what would her story be? She'd be like, I can't stop going to Saturday detention.
And then Whoopi's like, girl, let me shave your legs. Get in
Whoopi's like, it's only Friday. Now it's Sunday. We have to hide Saturday from the calendar for Molly. Oh my God. I love it so much.
So somehow this conversation of Claire being a virgin, blah, blah, turns to Emilio. It's like, wait, guys, I wasn't finished about my trauma. Let's talk about me now, and he goes on this story about how his dad is like very tough on him and blah blah. And I think this is where he talks about what he did to get in detention, which was he taped a kid's butt cheeks together. Ooh. Which is assault, number one, and definitely should be a higher offense than like detention, I think.
Well, he said that his skin came off.
That's fuck. That's like some Saw shit. What the hell?
I was like, what? And everyone's like, hey, it happened. I'm like, what?
Does it happen, Jesus?
By the way, I read this is an ad-lib scene when he starts going on, and then Anthony Michael Hall goes on, and like they're just like shooting the shit here.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Which is like pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well, because he kind of then says it was really like a spur of the moment thing, and the reason I did it was because I thought of my dad, and it's something my dad would have done, and I wanted to like show off to my dad, and everything's about my dad, and blah blah. And I was like, your dad blows. And then Bender goes, I think your old man and my should get together and go bowling. LOL. And I was like, wow.
I thought not because like our dad has anything to do with these dads, but I thought I bet you our dad would have a lot of fun going bowling with them because he would make fun of those two. Can't you see him being like,
your kid wears tights?
He'd be like, here's the league, you paid me $5, whoever wins pays me $5, and I watched the movie on YouTube, and you're both gonna lose, so alright, let's get going.
Yeah, that's so real.
And I'll tell you, like, this shit is really real. Like, Emilio Estevez is like, I just wish my knee would give out so I don't have to.
Yeah, like the pressure. It's like high pressure.
I gotta tell you, I won't name names, but I'm pretty sure I had a friend that happened to, air quotes, and was just so relieved. Yeah. And it's so fucked because this is, which you know all too well, this could have just been a conversation. Instead you have to ruin your body to avoid a conversation.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then, oh my god, this one is so good and loaded because Brian, aka the Brain, aka Anthony Michael Hall, goes on about why he's there. And it's all about how he's failing shop, which is a big trigger for Bender because Bender's like, why does that bother you? And he's like, well, have you seen the idiots at shop? And he's like,
I take shot. And then everyone goes, oh.
Everyone's like, oh, God, Brian.
The mood was okay. It wasn't okay, but it was okay. Oh, my God.
But then it gets dark because he basically brought a gun in to, what?
Like, kill himself.
Kill himself?
Yeah, which is
But then it went off in his locker by accident?
Yep, so we punish. Did you know, Bridge? Did you know? That's what we do. We punish. Also, listeners, just to clarify, that is not how that situation is handled in public schools at all. At fucking all. Jesus Christ.
I thought to myself,
that kid would have been sent to the hospital, like, immediately.
Well, and then, correct me if I'm being not sensitive enough, but I was like, why would you bring the gun to school? Why wouldn't you just, like, do it at home?
I mean...
So then I thought, is he trying to, like, get the shot? Like, again, I was forever confused on Brian's story. I was like, is he trying to, like, shoot the shop teacher?
Who is Brian?
Who's his dad? Because you know what I mean? I was like, a lot of school shootings, you know, shit's scary as hell. But again, 1985, school shootings are not as prominent, so this was like this weird snapshot in time that I don't think they missed the nuance of, like, unfortunately now.
I just wondered if it was a little, like, maybe a place where he had a little more, not like privacy, but he, like, could have more opportunity maybe than in a home.
Yes.
Where it's like smaller and there's more people who know you and whatever. Yeah, but that's pretty fucking sad. And I don't even know what reaction they have to that. I think someone's like,
no, they laugh. They start laughing at him.
Oh my god.
Because he says that the gun went off by accident, and then like Emilio starts laughing. He goes, I'm so sorry. And everyone was so uncomfortable that they started laughing, and then Anthony Michael Hall started laughing. He goes, it's actually pretty funny.
Okay. Is it? Or should we still go to the hospital? Okay.
Wow.
And then Sheedy goes, do you know what I did to get in here? And they're all like, what? And she goes, I didn't have anything better to do.
Oh,
come on.
It was so good. And actually, in between this time, this is when Claire, she does her like lipstick boob thing and then gets ripped apart by Bender.
Boob, yeah.
But then basically Anthony Michael Hall was like, hey, are we like friends now? Like I shared things, you shared things, together. And
this was a big theme.
Oh god, this broke my heart because she was like, if you want me to be truthful, no, we're not friends. Is she evil or is she honest? And that made makes her nice. So here's culturally. I looked at this like East Coast wise, somebody would be like, whatever, she's being real with you. Respectful, okay? Midwest wise, people are like, that's the meanest thing ever, you know, because we're like more passive aggressive where you'll say yes, but like we'll kind of ignore you or maybe go the different route. And I just thought like, I don't know. I mean, it's mean as they called her out, but also is it a question mark, right? She's just being real.
I don't know, Bridge, because in Degrassi, sorry to bring it up again, they did all say hi to each other, and it wasn't a thing. But that's an amazingly written show, so, you know.
Well, and I think 23, people are saying hi to each other because, are you kidding? And Anthony Michael Hall joked about with Ali Sheedy, he was like, would you say hi to me? And she was like, I don't have any friends.
She goes, of course I would, I got no one else. Like, who cares?
And she goes, and if I had friends, the type of friends I had wouldn't.
Girl.
But I just, like, I don't know, a part of me thought, like, it's real. It's super real.
I mean, I think for the times it was real, but like you said, I don't know if that's still the case today. To that degree, I don't.
Well, and this is so, like the intricacies. He's like, you're so conceited, Claire. How could you do that? And she goes, well, your groups look up to us. We don't look up to you. I was like, damn.
I know. I was like, Claire, don't say the quiet part out loud. Ow.
She did. That was this whole movie.
Did.
That's the perfect way to describe this movie. The quiet part is said out loud.
Yeah.
In 7 hours of detention.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. Where are we? Oh, is this when then Claire's like, hey, so you know how it was awful to you? Will you write the paper for us?
Yeah, Brian. We're all gonna go hook up with different people. You're not. Also, you tried to off yourself and we laughed about it. Also, write our paper. And Brian's like, absolutely. And I was like, wait.
This pushed me over the edge.
What
I was like,
fuck?
Do not write their paper, Brian.
He wrote the paper. He fucking wrote the paper. Penny's reaction is me. Don't write it, Brian, but he fucking writes it.
He writes it, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's great. It's pretty good writing.
Definitely was not 1,000 words, I'll tell you that. But that's fine. And so Ali Sheedy gets her dumbass makeover. Her and Emilio make out. No one cares. And then Bender goes back to his secret closet place. Molly Ringwald sneaks over there and is like, hey, what's up?
No, he has verbally abused her, sexually harassed her, really hurt her with the lipstick trick, and then made fun of her again. And then she flees to him and is like, I want to kiss you.
She's like, let's make out.
I hate this. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're gonna do anything, hit it and quit it. But he's not even worth a hit and quit, I don't think. And I don't know what we do, but we did something. She gave him an earring, and I was like,
she gave him an earring, and okay, and so this is what's kind of cool about this movie is at the end of it, they all kind of win in different ways.
Does Brian win? Because I don't know if Brian won anything.
No, he kind of does.
Did he win respect? Is that what he won?
I think he won respect, but he also got to let loose. He got to be humbled.
That's true.
He admitted he didn't like the person that he was, like that he was so intense about his grades and shop, and he got like, you know, they all got out of their bubbles, so to speak, and kind of were better for it. But this movie's so great because it ends so you don't see Monday. So you don't see the, like, it's just this nice, they captured like a nice high school feeling in a fleeting moment.
Yeah, and then it ends with Bender walking through the football field with the iconic "Don't you?" and he goes, freeze frame.
We're lifting our hands up. It's a jersey fist pump with like a rocky angle in the air in the football field.
And only one pump, not more.
And it just holds up there.
And that's wow,
we did it.
You know what?
Woo.
It was a club.
That was a hard one to review. Lots of dialogue.
And also, we didn't mention it, but I'm going to say it now. They never had breakfast. So, you know what? Take that as you will. But
yeah, honestly, why are they called the Breakfast Club?
Why not the Weed Club?
It should be the All Day Club. But,
why not the Trauma Crossroads Club? Yeah.
Oh my God, the Trauma Club! I love that.
Come on down, kids. Let's smoke weed.
That's our scary movie. That's our scary movie sign at the end. Well, Kate, it's that time again.
Woo!
It's my pick.
Yay!
Okay, you aren't ready for this pick.
I don't think I am.
You're not even gonna know it's coming.
Wow.
Okay, are you ready?
I think so.
This is from 1993.
It's the best
year
for movies. guys.
We lined that up right.
We've done so many already. First of all, there's a fucking Pennyfoot in the screen. Pennyfoot is in the screen. So sorry I got interrupted. I love her so much. She's beauty and she's grace.
My dog does this thing where she lies on, she's this like kind of long hot dog that also has like lab features, and she does this thing where she lies on her back and just sticks one paw up like she's a rock star.
And that's what's happening. Maybe she's doing the bender fist pump.
Oh my god, she's doing the bender with her.
She's like, Mom, so cool, don't forget about me and my belly scratchies.
Don't.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Me.
We're in 1993. Okay.
Sorry, 1993.
I'm ready.
Okay, brothers. Johnny and Adam are coasting through a fun surfer existence in LA.
Okay.
When they're suddenly accosted by a band
is it
of ninjas. We're watching Surf Ninjas.
Leslie Nielsen! Oh my god, what's his name? Rob Schneider's in this, right? Oh my god! Okay, I'm gonna call this right now. This is a movie that, like, I don't think anyone but us cares about. This is like a Jingle All the Way.
This is a Jingle All the Way movie.
So fucking excited. Oh my god.
Our stats are just gonna drop with this movie. Like, no one's watching or listening. And I'm pretty sure this is
fucking care.
On YouTube as like a pirated full movie because no studio cares.
Oh
it's
my
so
god,
old.
this was literally the best year for movies, you guys. Like, it's so, like, someone needs to write a dissertation on it. It's got a 5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Now, Kate, if you recall, as kids, we watched this
a lot. So much. For
whatever reason, it was a family favorite across all ages, all personalities. Does it hold up? We're gonna find out.
Also, people don't forget, we got Tone Loc, who I saw at a New York Giants game, and I said, I love you, Tone. And he was like, thanks. I was like, wow.
He's like, thanks very much.
Guys. Yeah.
I'm Lieutenant in this movie.
I don't think he sings in this movie. Ba 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 ba
ba. Ooh, ba 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 ba. Oh god, I can't wait to see this.
Oh my god, and there's like fucking like video game ninja shit and some dumbass. I cannot.
What did I tell you? You were not prepared for this. What did I tell you?
Never in my life, Bridge.
I knew it.
And of course, as I go down the IMDb page, it says, you want to watch more movies like this? And it's all movies we've done already. 3 Ninjas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay. We haven't done Power Rangers yet, but it'll come. Wow.
I love it.
Good pick. I can't wait.
Here we are.
I'm excited.
Wow.
Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
Just want to say.
Yeah.
If we were in Saturday detention and Bender was there and he crosses the line, I will put him in a sleeper hold.
Ooh.
And whip out the knife and throw it away so he can't use that. And I'll be like, you better fucking get it together because the patriarchy doesn't exist in my detention.
Wow.
And that's for you also.
Kate. I'm ready. I'm going to follow this.
Okay.
I'm going to jump on top of this.
Okay.
As you get ready to talk about your patriarchy dissertation.
Okay.
I actually turn all the lights off in the library. A spotlight comes on.
Oh god, not that.
And a giant Steve Jobs PowerPoint screen comes behind you. I throw you a headset. I become Anna from Pen 15. And I rock the stage for you.
You sprinkle glitter over me.
To bring Bender on.
Oh my god.
To be the theater major he is.
Oh god.
And you just absolutely inform people that this movie does not have a patriarchal lens to it.
Oh
and
Lord.
Women are better than this.
Wow. I love that.
Because I love you. Because I love you and you deserve that. You deserve that stage.
Oh boy, I love you too. Listeners, if you love us as well. And you love really dramatic PowerPoint presentations that are relevant and important. And if you think that John Bender should have just joined the theater club and maybe things could have been different. Who knows?
He was so creative.
Introduced weed to all of them. They need that. They need to relax sometimes.
They really did.
You should write us a review.
Hey.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out to go make a request. And if there's any other ninja movies from the 90s, there's so many. We love those. I love those.
If there's one, there's 100.
There's definitely lots. So, that's, if you want to put it there, you put it there. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, which is money.
Woo!
We will go with Ali Sheedy and Emilio Estevez to get the coffee.
We
talk
will.
about other things.
Yes.
And if you don't want that and you want merchandise, well, what are you doing? Get over there and buy some for your friends, your family. Christmas is somewhat around the corner. I don't even know. A birthday? Any other holiday?
Yeah.
It's Labor Day. Go get them a shirt.
Yes. So check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Surf Ninjas. Ba 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 ba.
Penny's taking my hand. We love you.
I love you.
Listen, be nice. Attention. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Love you. Love you.
I'll try.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Bender.
Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.